So here we have a Silkrip Mark III ORR computer. And in this video, we're going to show how to take the microSD card out of it and insert it into a computer, a laptop, to edit the files that are on the microSD card and put it back in. So here's the Silkrip ORR Mark III computer running. So we're going to turn power off. And now we're going to look at that microSD card, which is that little thing right there. So how do we get it out? We get it out with hemostats. So we grab hold of it and pull it out, and it looks like that. That's the way that you insert it in there like that. If I turn it over, it looks like that. So there it is. Now I need to get that microSD card into a laptop computer so that I can use the laptop to edit the files that are on the microSD card. This is an adapter card in case your computer has a slot, which mine does right here, for a larger SD card, not a microSD, but an SD card. You can also use a USB adapter. And this one has a place for a microSD card and a regular SD card. So it's pretty handy. So I'm going to put the microSD card into the adapter, and then I'm going to put the adapter into the side of this USB adapter. So here you can just see the very little red tip of the back of the microSD card that I've inserted into the SD adapter. And now I'm going to put that adapter into the side of this USB adapter. Some computers actually have a slot directly for the microSD card, so you don't need any adapters. So now I've put the microSD card in the SD adapter into the USB adapter. And now I'm going to put this into a USB port on my laptop. I have a little USB adapter here for the SD card or microSD card, and that's what I'll be using connected to my computer to create this training video. I'm going to go to my File Explorer and look for that microSD USB adapter, which is down here. And you can see that the microSD card has a bunch of folders on it, indicated in yellow, and some files. The three files that are of critical interest are ERR.txt, which has all the waypoints for a particular race. In this case, it's for the Nevada Open Road Challenge. It's got a race info file, which is just information. And it has a target speed. This is a very simple file. It's just, in this case, 70 miles an hour for the practice speed. Note that it has a line feed after the 70. So those are the three files that you need, in this case, in order to practice. If you wanted to race, you would change the target speed. Let's say it's 120 miles an hour. And now I'm going to do a save as, and I have to eliminate all that stuff up in front and make it a ts.txt file. So I'm going to say save, and it's going to give me a warning that the ts.txt already exists. Do you want to replace it? And the answer is yes. I'm replacing the 70 miles an hour with 120 miles an hour. So now I'm all set up to race. And if I look at that ts.txt file, it says 120. If I want to go back to my practice file, I can say, okay, let me practice at 70 miles an hour. And now I'm going to save, and it saves it. So I could do it either way. I can do a save as, or I can just do an edit. Now, after you run the first leg of either the race or practice, you're going to have an error, ERR.txt file that the computer inserts onto the microSD card. This is how the computer knows how much your error out was on the first leg, the outbound leg. If I open this file, I can see a minus 156, which means I was 1.56 seconds slow off my target time on the first leg. Well, that's very handy for practice or for a race, but what happens if you want to use this microSD card again? You don't want that ERR.txt file on there, so you need to get rid of it. A simple way to get rid of it is to highlight it and to delete it. It says, are you sure you want to permanently delete this file? And the answer is yes. And it deletes it. So now I have a clean microSD card ready to be inserted into the Mark III computer to run another practice run or to run the race. Now, you might also have some other files on here if you've practiced or raced. You might have some log files, but you don't have to worry about those because those get appended onto with subsequent use. So you don't have to clean up the microSD card files for the log files, but you do have to get rid of the ERR.txt after each run that is your practice or race if you want to reuse that microSD card. So now we need to reverse the process by taking this microSD card out of its adapter and out of the USB adapter and take that microSD card and get it back into the Mark III unit. Note that first I'm going to turn off power to this USB port. If you have a USB port right in your laptop, you won't be turning power off of it. Then I like to, in this case, I can just pull it out. There's also a mechanism for making sure that the hardware is not in use before you extract it, and I'll show you that in a moment. So I've pulled the SD adapter out of the USB adapter. Now, I told you I would show you how to extract the microSD card properly if you didn't have a device where you could turn power off the USB port. So here I've got my microSD card plugged into the actual SD slot of this processor. So you can see that I've got the same files there. And when I close this completely, then I can come down here to hidden icons and find the icon that looks like a USB thumb drive, and it says safely remove hardware and eject media. So I click on that and it will show me which one to eject, and I eject that, and then here's the message that you will get. And finally, if you don't want to do any of that editing stuff, you can buy a pre-set, packaged, and labeled set of microSD cards for each of the races.